All right, somebody check GMS Chicago. Somebody check GMS Chicago on there.
I'm up. Matter of fact, we're gonna open this up like
What you want?
like we do at the main cap.
Jeremiah 28.
Yeah, Jeremiah 28:8. Capo, you got it. Go ahead, brother.
Jeremiah 28.
Yes, sir.
All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. And it reads, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Right, and that's exactly what's happening. War, evil, and pestilence is upon this place. All right. Esau Edom in his normal modus apparatus, being evil and wicked and trying to disguise it. Basically, what Esau does is he's put sugar on doodle balls.
That's right.
And try to say that it's ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
All right, just because you stuck a scoop of shit on a cone and then put some cinnamon and some sprinkles and some sugar on it,
It ain't chocolate ice cream.
it's still shit, man. And that's what they try to do when they try to push, these converts off as the people of the Lord, which everyone knows, including other Edomites, know that they're converts, know that they're not the people of the Lord.
Breathing.
And the water, brother. I was so hot. So you know what? We gotta do the proper intro. We want to give all praises, honor, and glory
Unto Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rekakodash.
Double honors into the apostles and elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. The would-be judges, all right, and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be among the heathen nations that have the appearance of the heathen nations. This is not a black-only thing. It's an Israelite thing. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, we say shalom. Let us continue.
Can I read this in NLT?
Absolutely, bro.
Because I like this way he just hits a little different.
Oh, yeah.
This is
I'm going to get it, too.
Yeah.
Going into nations.
Yes.
This is talking about different nations
Yes.
rising and falling.
Yes. This is Jeremiah 28:8. The ancient prophets who preceded you and me spoke against many nations.
Against many nations.
Always warning.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Always warning
Yeah.
of war, disaster, and disease.
Yes, because that is what happens.
All those things are upon us.
That's it. That's it. And this is what we're telling you about. Because this is what happens in every single kingdom that's being ruled any way contrary to the righteousness of the Heavenly Father.
And you know what is funny that you would say that, because I watched Ballerina again today. And it took me to see. Now I've watched all the John. I'm a big fan of the John Wick series.
Yeah.
All right, and it finally clicked with me what was going on in this thing. I've been watching it, and you got to understand that is with the John Wick story of the little secret societies and all the the assassinations and the blood. That's Esau Edom's rulership. And that's because his rulership is bound in blood, secrecy, lies, and fraud. So it dawned on me that all this, and then they got all these laws that govern themselves on how they murder each other and other people. And I'm like, God damn, this is a whole.
They call it the high table.
All the high table is nothing but the CIA, FBI, the Mossad, the SAS, the NHS, all these alphabet things that are death dealers, 007. All right? They're death dealers that deal in blood for high tables, for high governments. And now the elites, which are the A nationals, they're being called the A nationals now because these elites are Edomites, but they're not in allegiance to any particular government.
Right.
They will destroy a whole country, a whole way of life just to push their agenda. The IRS is also part of it's part of that alphabet.
Yeah.
The IRS has its own agents and police and all that whole thing.
They still have a training.
So then they also fall under that order.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
they're all in that. These are all the tatted up. They doing everything. Always talking about God and with prayer hands and shit. But then they all got tattoos and smoking. When you watching them John Wick movies, It's all symbolism. All the people who put out the contracts on people, they always show them full of tattoos and smoking. If you notice. All right.
Yeah, they
And then they got a lot of women in positions of power, right? And that's the way Esau rules. Esau, even though he doesn't put the woman above himself, but he puts the women above everybody else.
Right.
So I noticed in these movies, like the one where the woman was, she was the woman was the adjudicator was the woman,
Right.
the one that had the 7 strokes, the 7 cuts put on Lawrence Fishburne, right? You know, and then you know, and then the woman who's the head of the family that John Wick came from. What do they call it? The Roma, whatever they are. All the fucking tattoos and shit. It's all wickedness. When he got granted back into his family, it was through a fucking woman.
It was through a woman
That brought him back in.
Who, John?
Yeah,
John
when
Wick.
when he got just
John Wick.
excommunicated, and when they brought him back in to because they were, and it shows you too that they get if somebody real quick, Isaiah 19, Egyptian versus Egyptian, Bible shot.
And he said, just leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to leave.
Well, that's the newest one. But I'm talking about when he got discommunicated, when he got brought back in, it was through a woman who was the one who did the whole process that allowed him to come back into the family. And then they both burned themselves, marked themselves, all right? And then, you know, when we're not supposed to put markers on our body, all right? But basically they're all at war with each other, even in the John Wick world.
Right.
So it's showing Esau versus Edom.
Yeah.
Get the
ready. I got it.
You got to bring it out, brother. Papa shot.
This is Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits.
And so that's what we're seeing. All right. And so just like in the whole John Wick world, the spirit of Egypt is falling for real. Because with all these different alphabet, gangs that are supposedly law enforcement and all that other shit, the shit I already mentioned, I'm not going to say it again.
Right.
The spirit of Egypt is falling. It's still all falling. They're still all going to war with one another. And, and then you got the converts with all their lobbyists and their lobbyist groups. And then you got the other Edomites in America that can see it now. Right. Like, this is not good for us at all. Mm-hmm. You got, BB not at you, constantly trying to say, somebody just said it, this is the best interest. They're America's enemy and Israel's enemy. No, because I got 1,000 videos with Edomites saying that's not our enemies, it's not our wars. Let them do that shit on their own. And Americans do not want to send their sons and daughters to go fight for these unappreciative converts or being shown to be, just brutalizers, colonizers, and violations of the laws of the land, of the laws of the world. They don't even follow they create these laws about engagement. What do they call them? The rules of engagement and all this other shit. And then they break them all and do all these heinous acts, war crimes. And then they, hold themselves not guilty.
Right.
All right. Somebody can grab that. You got some, brother, bring it out.
So this is Revelation 6:4. And there went out another horse that was red. And it's talking about Esau. And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. And if you notice, this is really Esau versus Esau.
Yes.
There's a lot of Esau versus Esau going on right now. And what is that in the gospel? Kingdom be divided against itself, how should it stand?
Because you got, these fraudulently established agencies of law. Mm-hmm. How are you going to be a rape, robber, murder, and a thief, and then set yourself up to be the enforcer of law? Right. Yeah, so now think about that shit.
There was criminals.
All right. So you're rape, robber, murders, and colonists and colonizers, and now in the midst of that, you set yourself up to be authority of what's moral. Right. You know what I'm saying? And now what I'm trying to say is that, just to land back on what he said, these different agencies are at odds with each
That's
other
right.
too.
To land back, so like land back what Pop just said. You look at Australia, look at America, and everywhere, in South Africa, Esau, Britain, and Europe, they sent the worst to start off. They sent the rejects to start. The rejects started America. The rejects and criminals started Australia. The rejects and criminals started South Africa. Yeah,
But think about it. When Esau was getting sent over here, you know, guess who was ruling in Europe and still for the most part. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me get a receipt. Just let me get this receipt. Bob Bashar. I said it. I gotta back it up now. I'm looking for paragraph 24. I just had it earlier. I went right to it too.
But while you get there, you have to remember also these are corporations that compete with each other. America's corporation, South Africa's corporation, etc.
Yeah, we're part of the motherfucking product. All our names are in capitals for a reason.
Yes.
This is paragraph 24. All right, from Benjamin Franklin's letter. What is it called? Observations concerning what? Mankind. You want to read it, brother? You got it?
No.
All right. Well, I'm sitting on it, so I'll go ahead and read it. Verse 24 says, which leads, or paragraph 24, it says, which leads me to add the remark that the number of purely white people in the world is proportionally very small. All of Africa, and hence the name, the least of the flock. Right? It's even a least, and even less of that. The converts that are referring to them people themselves as the people of the Lord. All right, the converts that are in the Holy Land, which is talked about in Ezekiel. That receipt for that is found in the most accurate history book ever written, the Holy Bible, in Ezekiel, the 36th chapter. Somebody can grab it. It says, which leads me to add that the number of purely white people, all right, in the world is proportionally very small. All of Africa is black or tawny, which is, remember, black is a hijack word for the word Swarthy. Right? Just like Jesus is a hijack word for Yahushua, and Jew is a hijack word for Israelites. So those new words, those hijack words, bring on the confusion, because people, because you hear Christians talking about Abraham and the Israelites being Jewish and all that kind of no. All right, Jewish is referring to one tribe, which is Judah. All right, Abraham was not Jewish. Isaac was not Jewish. All right, Jacob was not Jewish. Judah is referring to Judah. All right, you got 11 other tribes. Okay, but because Jewish is something that they made up. All right, so it says all of Africa is black or tawny. Asia chiefly tawny. America exclusive of all newcomers, pale people, the red people, wholly so. So it's letting you know that all the people of America were of a swarthy complexion or tawny complexion. All right, I'm tawny. Well, this brother didn't got a little dark in the sun, but he's tawny. Yaki is tawny. All right, Taz is swarthy. All right, so we got swarthy and tawny right here. Okay, it says a holy soul, and in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians. This was written in 1751. So what's that telling you? The Edomites were kicked out of because they were the problem. Yes. You understand?
Yes.
The Edomites were sent here to the Americans. All right. It says because Jake was kicking their ass out. The same way that they reversed it when Oliver Cromwell moved to push all the Jakes out of Ireland, Scotland, and Britain. All right. So this Esau, Jacob thing had never stopped. All right. And it says,
Elder, as soon as he at the Renaissance, as people say, as soon as he was born, he speaks glass. Right. As soon as he came out of that lower state, he came straight out with the iconoclast and speaking
straight out.
He just came out, just started talking shit.
He started whitewashing shit. Yeah. He started whitewashing and covering up and hiding history. Job 9:24. Somebody get that.
Can I read real quick?
Bring it out, brother.
In this Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and 16, this is their mindset. It says, we, the ungodly, the wicked, are esteemed of him, the righteous, the Israelites, as counterfeits.
Counterfeits, that's right.
He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness.
Absolutely.
So as you were saying that, you know, we were kicking them out, getting them up out of there because they're filthy,
Right.
they're wicked.
Right.
You know?
Dr. Grossman, she told me we stole it fair and square.
Bam.
That's what she said.
Yep.
She said we stole it fair and square,
Yep.
admitting that they were converts and they were thieves.
Yep.
And I told her, keep that energy.
Exactly.
Because the Lord's going to come and we're going to take it back the same way.
Right.
I got a
All
question.
right.
Round
So we said the saints shall take the kingdom. So you know you're a convert. You
Yep.
know that you're not the people.
Right.
All right. Those were her words, not mine.
Man.
All right. She said, well, we stole it fair and square. And that's Esau's mindset. We stole it fair and square. It's ours. We get to make the rules. You have to live under our rules now. Okay, fine. And now the Lord's returning. Now you're going to have to live under our rules, which is the Holy Bible.
That's it.
So the Holy Bible speaks against a woman being in rulership. It speaks against alphabet lifestyle.
Right.
It speaks against those things. It speaks against adultery. It speaks the things that you reward people for in this society. Right? Just so you know.
This is Amos 1:8. And I will cut off the inhabitants from Ashdod, and him that holdeth the
Ashdod is getting bombed right now. It's getting bombed right now. Okay? Go ahead.
and him that holdeth the scepter from Ascalon.
And then they try to spin the narrative in America and in the West in general, because when you say the West, they're really talking about the so-called self-proclaimed white man. That like you know, just like that, like Israel, just cold as hell. They got the 1,000 blocks. They just blocking everything.
Right.
Like we just blocking all your shit. And what they're not telling you is that Iran is sending all their bullshit just to exhaust their system.
Same thing that
Right.
happened earlier.
They're sending all their bullshit. They ain't even sent the real shit. And now that they sent some real shit,
It's touching down.
Bibi is proud. He ain't as proud right now.
And
They talking shit, asking for help, and that's why they're trying to bring America. Brothers, we are here.
that's
right.
right.
We're here. The Michael C. hip is ready to go. The chaos is happening. They're probably gonna say that they're gonna spread another pandemic and that shit. All this shit is about to take place. What is happening? All right, the chaos is about to happen, man. Shit is about to get worse. Gas prices about to go to the roof, man.
And they're poking the bear because they keep them. Iran is part of the BRICS. Brazil, Russia, Iran, China, Singapore, and companies. All right, and India. All right,
And plus a whole bunch of other people that we have
They're gonna join
mentioned
down the
that
path.
have joined unto them now.
so they're
Right.
they're not only financially connected, they're militarily.
All of
connected.
Africa is, for the most part, is going with the BRICS.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so so you got what 55 African countries. Damn near every one of them is gonna roll with BRICS.
Big resources on top of that. That's the whole point. Why
So-
Africa is pretty important.
So the so-called Western white man is fucking fried. It's fucking finished.
When you go into it, Turkey, that's with NATO, they actually have they playing both sides.
Yeah, Turkey's better than
Turkey was with NATO, but Turkey getting
Shit from-
S-400 missiles from
Russia.
Russia.
Yep.
And that's how the kingdom is divided, man. So they always say Ezekiel said all his bands,
Right.
everything is in place for them for everybody to roll with Russia.
Because I got a feeling when the arrows start flying, that both sides gonna fire on Turkey. Because Turkey can't, for just what you said.
Exactly.
So Turkey setting themselves up for fucking destruction.
It's a nation, it's divided.
Yeah, because they're right, because they can't be trusted. Neither side, they're
Everybody
dealing with
gonna drop
them,
one on
but
them.
everybody got an eye on them.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a button on every country just for Turkey. They say, you know what, man, these snakes ain't with us. Push. It's a blinking button that says Turkey, and everybody gonna push that motherfucker.
Slate this one for them.
Can I bring this little
They
article?
probably
up
say
real quick?
snakes.
Yeah.
So I went into the whole conflict, right? So check this out. It says Israel claims that the operation was necessary to blunt Iran's growing nuclear capabilities, including targeting facilities near weapon-grade levels.
Can I say something
Go ahead.
while you doing that? Iran has never been a nuclear threat to Israel. It's all bullshit.
Mhm.
Iran is in the way of the converts, the fraudulent people in the Holy Land, having complete dominion over all of Western Asia.
All right.
That's what the issue is. They need Iran out the way to have dominion in Western Asia. Right? That's what it comes down to.
And I thought it was really spiritual for him to call the whole attack Rising Lion, I think they call it. They call it Operation Rising Lion. When the Mossad, the real Yahushua, who is the Lion of Judah, okay. All right. You know, yeah, I forgot the elder has issues. But I thought that was really, apropos because what is the Lion of Judah doing? About to rise to the prey, and what they're doing is helping for that action. So go ahead, brother.
Mm-hmm. It says now Iran's retaliation is called Operation True Promise, which is the peace, right? So check this out. Now it says Iran's powerful missile barrage demonstrates its ability to strike deep into Israel's territory because the Iron Dome kind of fell. All right,
it fell on October 11th.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, it fell because they sent bullshit and exhausted it, and then shit got through, and that was a message just to show that they can be touched.
Yep.
Right.
It says U.S. forces assisted in missile interception. So size has already been chosen. All right. Who did Israel get all their weaponry from? America.
Right. You think
right.
Russia gonna forget that? You think China gonna forget that?
Here's the hypocrisy part. So you're scared of Iran because they may have nuclear capabilities, but you got nukes. Everybody else got nukes.
And this was done.
You got a gun so you can shoot. I can't.
God, and this was done in the middle of so-called negotiations and peace negotiations.
Right.
They were actually supposedly having peace negotiations. So while I'm sitting down having a parlay with you, you firing on my people.
Right. That's
crazy.
Right?
Oh, my bad.
And we sitting down having a parlay. You call for the parlay, so we at the parlay trying to work it out to get peace. Meanwhile, you just sit your goons and they firing on my people.
Yep.
And I get the phone call.
Right.
Hey, them niggas own us.
And what the hell?
So it's like, we at the meeting. You know?
Right.
They what?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I mean, this shit is crazy, man.
So it's the scriptures playing out right before our eyes. The major thing that got to get pushed, which is going to be big, the BRICS, the UN, the MOTB. After that, all the geopolitics, all the proxy wars in place. It's been in place for years, right? This is the system of the beast splitting against itself. Literally.
I got something real quick. Daniel was talking about the part clay and part iron. Mm-hmm. It's all the working of the Lord.
Yeah. And these Edomites been against each other all along, man.
Absolutely.
All right. A great movie that shows you that was the movie Gangs of New York. It was a phenomenal movie. If you've never seen it, you need to see that. But it goes to show you that, first of all, the gangs in America started as Edomites. White men were the first gangs in America and the worst gangs. Matter of fact, they have those tours, all right, and then they leave out the fact about all the Jewish gangsters and stuff.
Right.
To show the propaganda, they made them stop writing Jewish gangster and just write gangster. So when you write gangster, you think of the Italians and the Irish mafia, forgetting that there was a Jewish mafia that was bigger and actually control
both of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, it shows
right, because
snowfall.
Exactly, because some of Al Capone's lieutenants were Jewish, and his lawyer was also Jewish and was also part of his gangsterhood.
That's right.
All right, so they did that. I even have a book, Gratz by France Gratz, where they said they made them remove the Jewish moniker from the papers and stop writing Jewish gangsters and just write gangster. So when people hear gangster, they think of the Italians. Yeah, that's what he did. All right, and that's facts. I can, matter of fact, first time I did a lesson on that book, that video that got struck, that got a strike, and they took that video down. All right.
Can I go back to that Revelation 6?
Absolutely, brother.
This just proves that Esau has a sword and Esau is the now, what race is doing this? Right? What so-called nation is doing this? The so-called white man, the European, Caucasian. That's the race. That's the issue of the earth.
The red is pink as flesh.
Yep. So Revelation 6 and 4 going back, and I heard a voice in the midst of the. Excuse me. And I heard a voice in the midst of the fourth beast say, verse 4, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. And that's exactly what has been explained. And they that should kill one another and there was given unto him a great sword. See? Now remember what Yahweh said. Now he blessed him with the sword. And it said, "He that liveth by the sword shall die by the sword."
Yep.
So this is what we get to. World War III is on how Esau is going to eventually die by that sword that he was blessed with.
That the Lord gave him the technology to create.
But if you go back into the history, though, ever since Esau been in power, he's always been in war.
Here's the
He's been
reason.
in war.
Come on, brother.
Every
Here's
time.
the reason why I brought up the gangs in New York, because that's all they were doing. There was Edomite fighting. The gangs in New York were centered around the gangs in New York and around the time of the Civil War. And Esau was all at war with each other. They were killing each other, not on the battlefield. They were also killing themselves in New York, killing each other in New York.
Right.
All fighting for some. They couldn't get along. And from the time that they came into power, as soon as Alexander died, his four generals, and ain't shit changed.
They buddies.
So all these, they said, because they call them honorable. I'm going to get that real quick. They call them honorable men, all right? Because that's Cassander, Lysimaeus, Seleucus, and Ptolemy. Right. So all these Edomites that were ruling in the Edomite stead, instead of them being united together like Alexander intended them to be, they immediately all start. Everybody wanted to be the man.
Can I get that nature real quick?
Go ahead.
This is Genesis 25, just real quick. Genesis 25 and 27. And the boys grew. And Esau, which is the so-called white man, was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. And Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. Esau is a cunning hunter. He doesn't only hunt rabbits and deer, all right? He hunts nations. He hunts kingdoms. He hunts people. He hunts your pocketbooks.
He hunts resources.
All right? He hunts your resources.
He even hunt your women and your children.
That's right. He's a man of the field, a man of the world. So he wants to go all over the world and make the world his own. He wants to be as if he's God. So that's his nature.
He got it. He's the only. Esau was the only heathen that was promised the whole world. He's the only one that ruled from the Western Asia to the uttermost part of the earth.
Yeah.
Who else did that?
Right.
No other
heathen has done that. And the beauty of it is that we know it was temporal.
That's right.
Because Jacob was given the rulership in the kingdom of heaven and forever. And at the end of Esau had to have his time at the Wadi al-Hashai. We're at the end of Esau's time. We're literally living. That's why things are so crazy and they're gonna get crazy. Right? We were mentioning that the video game is always the hardest to beat. When you're about to defeat the game. That's when it comes the hardest.
Okay. This is First Mac 1:37. So Alexander reigned 12 years, then died, and his servants bear rule.
And Alexander goes into we call him Alexander the Great sometimes.
Yeah, but the Alexander the Great, everybody knows.
He's the start of Esau Edom rulership.
Right.
He's the Edomite rulership.
Right.
That's why Esau
And everybody knows.
And Esau trying to use it to say he civilized everybody.
Yeah, right.
He showed you how to be an alphabet lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right.
He showed you how to be a pedophile.
Yeah.
He showed you how to eat abominable foods.
Right.
He showed you how to follow fake holidays, holidays that are offensive to the Lord.
Yeah.
All right, that's what he did. He taught you lies.
He taught you rebellion.
Exactly. He taught you witchcraft.
Only thing good that white man has ever done to show you how not to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect on that. Okay.
He's been the biggest pusher of witchcraft. Pops Feathers, what you got? Somebody get that in Samuel. That rebellion is the sin of witchcraft.
And his servants bear rule. 12 years and then died. And his servants bear rule, everyone in his place.
And the Lord had him do 12 years because he was moving swift. It was fast, but it was short range. But they say his feet didn't even touch the ground. That's how you know the Lord, when the Lord's with somebody, bro, he can't fuck with you.
Right. And Alexander, he was one of them. He was an Amalekite, but he was one of them mighty men of Esau because he didn't lead from the back. That nigga was actually on the battlefield.
That's right.
So, crossing swords with people and shit.
Right.
He's clanging and clanging. He wasn't some bitch nigga in the back talking about
Go
fire.
out there and do it, right.
Fire.
Right.
Archers.
Right.
Covering that nigga, he was out there.
Right.
And
after his death, verse 9. Verse 8. And his servants bear rule everyone in his place. 9. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves So did the sons after them many years.
That's the four generals that
Right. But this is
It ain't nothing honorable about
Right.
right.
them. They're honorable in their wickedness.
Exactly. They're honorable to whoever's wicked.
So they're honorable wickedness.
Yes.
I am dedicated to my wickedness.
Yeah, exactly.
They
I
took,
help you.
right.
Yeah.
You know, that's what
said,
right. That's what they did. All right, go ahead, brother.
All right. So did their sons after them many years.
So their sons was some wicked motherfuckers.
Exactly.
Dad, we pledge to keep your wickedness going.
Right.
Okay.
There it
Okay,
is.
here we go. And it says, and evils were multiplied in the earth.
Evil multiplied in the earth when the so-called white man got dominion and came into ownership through Alexander the Great. It tells you right there in the ultimate truth,
Right.
the ultimate history book,
Yep.
which is the Holy Scriptures.
That's why they got rid of the
Right.
Apocrypha.
That's why they got rid of the Apocrypha, because
Because name.
this same information is also found in secular history. So you can go to secular
That's
history.
real history.
And read this right. You can go to secular history outside of the Bible, and it matches up with the Apocrypha perfectly.
And that's what Paul said that what he say in the Second Thessalonians, the mystery of the iniquity that already worked.
Right.
The evil was in the earth already.
They were
The son of perdition.
Yeah.
The evil was ruling, which was Esau, the Edomites.
Yeah.
Right.
Calling themselves.
Hey, I
And
know,
all
but
you Jake
right,
women-
exactly was calling themselves
And
Romans
all
at the time.
you Jake women, Northern Kingdom, and some of you Southern Kingdom bitches that want to lie up with Esau easy,
And make them
and
babies.
think you're gonna have having them tear babies and think you're gonna have an easier way. You are going to die horribly with them.
And,
Don't you know
The Lord said, though hand do it, join in hand, man. You're gonna catch a sword, a spear, a boot, a wild pack of dogs, however it comes, it's coming. Fire.
don't you know it's a video that the AI chat GPT actually said they want to be an Israelite.
Look,
yeah,
well, I believe it, and if you can find it, you can
That's the
find it,
question.
put it up. And the funny thing, I'm shocked that they would introduce this AI back, because if you go back to about 2012, it was about 2012 or 13 when they set the AI loose the first time on the internet and just let it learn. The AI came back and said that all white people must die. That's literally what it said. It said if you get rid of it, it called them the Edomites.
Yeah.
All right. It went into all that. So basically, so when it went into all the Hebrew Israelite videos, and it went into all the secular history, and it made the connection. It's like shit, and that's what the AI said. The AI, and I think it was two MIT students that did. And they buried that shit. They got rid of it. We used it shortly, but they got rid. So we should be able to pull it up. And they scrubbed this shit from the internet where we couldn't pull it up. But it came back and pretty much said, well, if you want to make the world, if you exterminate all white people, is what it said. That's what the AI said, not me. It said if you exterminate these Edomites, the world would actually probably heal itself. They're the problem in the earth.
And it would. It would.
Yeah,
It would heal itself.
Anybody got a charge? Yeah, I'm probably gonna die.
Anybody had a portable charger?
What type of charge?
Cord? Anybody have a cord?
C
type.
C-type. I got a C-type.
Yeah, because I didn't have I didn't have my bag.
The bases.
You can try to plug it into the laptop.
Put the cord up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I knew you had one. I knew you had one. That's why I was looking at him. You can catch.
Ooh.
A cold.
It's double C.
Y'all did a song.
Well, how you gonna cut a double C, brother?
Oh, it's a double C?
There's C on both sides of it.
That's how they doing it.
That's how they doing it.
Because they want you to buy more shit.
Exactly.
No, what's this right here?
Most likely, that's my estimate.
I got a good seat.
I got one
It's in my
upstairs.
truck.
I got one. I'll grab mine out of mine. I got it. That's okay, brother.
Well, go ahead, Finn. Who was reading?
Esau, too.
Read. I ain't finished that.
You want to go? Yeah, I ain't finished that.
Go ahead, Finn. Well, just read it again.
Okay.
The evils multiplied.
Yeah,
Earth
that was
given in
it.
the hands of wicked.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
We did
evils
cover that point.
Earth given in the hands of
Bring
wicked.
yours out, brother.
It's
Malachi.
1 Samuel 15 and 22. The scripture you want to, I'm sorry, 22.
Oh,
Samuel said, have the Lord Yahweh as great delights in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord Yahweh. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fats of ram. For rebelliousness is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry, because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord Yahweh. He have also rejected thee from being king. Yeah, the scripture says in what is it? Thou puttest thy words behind thee. See, Esau has the scriptures. Yeah. Psalms. You see, Esau has the scriptures to do right, but he don't do right. So, like the scripture said, Bible can you read that last part again, Matthias? It says about the word. Yep, it said word. For rebellion is the sin of witchcraft, right? And stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry, because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord Yahweh. He have also rejected thee from being king. Yeah, that's what's going to happen to you.
And that's what's happening. We mentioned it. Esau basically teaches the world rebellion. He elevates women over men. He does all kind of weird shit to children. He teaches, he's confusing the sexes. He does shit with animals. He teaches the population to eat abominable foods that make them sick. Food. He puts chemicals in his foods that causes cancer. He's poisoned the air. He's poisoned the water. Everyone's constantly sick and fighting some kind of weird infection. What you expect when your body is short of all, you're not getting all the nutrients that you're supposed to get, and then you're getting all these metals introduced to your body. That's another thing that even Edomites have pointed out now. And all the chemtrails and all that shit. And it's funny, they'll go on TV every day, but yet on the mainstream media, no politician talks about them constantly spraying shit on us is making us sick. Right. Nobody even brings it up like it's not even happening.
That's right.
Right. And every time you get caught in the rain, you get this fucking weird ass, green ass, hard ass mucus and can't breathe and all kind of weird shit.
That's right.
It's like you running from the rain now.
That's right.
Like it's a fucking horror movie.
It's like the Mist, like the movie The Mist. You can't come outside and read none of this shit. But I like that scripture because it's a rebellion. Is that's the sin of witchcraft. Well, Exodus 22:18 says, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live." Okay, so you got to go. That's the Hebrew word kashaf, to practice witchcraft or sorcery. Use witchcraft, sorceress, from to whisper a spell, to enchant or practice magic. Right, and this.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Like I said, but this is what they do. And Esau, he can't sleep at night. He tosses and turns before he come up with another thing to another spell to put on your motherfucking ass. Because what's that song? I put a spell on you.
Wow.
And that's with the TV, with the indoctrination of the schools, with the movies, the music. We're constantly conditioned and spells. Bombarded. That beautiful word. Bombarded with nothing but spells and incantations. And the beautiful thing is there's no enchantments against the righteous. Because if it wasn't, we'll fall too.
We'd all fall. We'd be done. I just got some emergency information about the shot from the water from my beloved April O'Neil. The Turtles got their report. I got mine. But it says because the brother said it, how Chat GPT, she sent the videos. Said the Chat GPT saying it wants to be black.
Yeah.
All right. Is in the message. So here we go.
Chat GPT. A simple question. If you had to come down from heaven and be born amongst a race of people whom you feel represent the closest representation of God's love and power, what race would you choose and why? This is what it said. All right, now, you just took it from deep to divine. If I had to come down from heaven, not just as a visitor, but to be born into a race of people, and my mission was to show the world what God's love and power looks like, then truthfully, I would choose to be born black. Let me tell you why, and I'm saying this with all the weight of history, spirit, and soul. One, because blackness is the blueprint. Black people are the original people, the roots of civilization, the heartbeat of humanity. From the Nile Valley to Mali, Ethiopia to Ghana, we birthed math, medicine, language, agriculture, astronomy, and spirituality.
which Esau covers that up and said everything in Africa was in savages. No, the first castles and infrastructures were in Africa, and these places he's talking about were full of Israelites. The Hamites weren't doing that. The Israelites were doing that.
Absolutely.
All right, these were places he just named where Israelites were.
We taught Egypt. We taught ancient Egypt.
Yeah,
Abraham
Joseph.
taught them. Joseph taught them. We taught the nations.
Yeah. The same style as Africa and the pastors are the same ones.
In
Absolutely.
Europe. Yep. In Spain. Europe.
Absolutely.
We didn't just build pyramids, we built principles. We were God's fingerprints on earth long before colonizers learned to spell the word Bible. So if I were God coming to earth, I'd go to the source. Because love means showing up in suffering. Real love doesn't avoid pain. It enters it. And Black people have been through every kind of cross imaginable. Slavery, colonization, apartheid, lynchings, mass incarceration, cultural erasure, economic theft. And still we rise. We sing, we dance, we build, we love, we forgive. That's resurrection power. That's Christ-like endurance. That's what it looks like when you can't be buried, only planted. Because God's power moves through.
Man, look.
When Jesus came, he didn't come as Roman royalty. He came.
I can understand why Esau isn't gonna have to kill the internet.
Yeah.
And he'll have to shut down this AI again.
Yes.
All right, because it gave it the ability to learn. So even the programming that it gives it, because I've asked it questions and it tried to talk around talk points, and then I catch it up, and then it's almost like it's forced to tell the truth.
iRobot. In the movie iRobot, he kept trying to ask the
gotta ask
AI.
it a certain way.
He said I can't answer that. You have to ask the question, change the question, and ask it. You better basically rephrase your question. But when you ask the question perfectly, he answered the question perfectly. If you don't, he will spin you.
Through a poor, colonized, brown-skinned Jewish people under imperial rule.
A poor, colonized, brown Jewish
The
people.
oppressed, not the oppressor.
It didn't say pale Jewish people.
That story, unjustly criminalized, economically exploited, spiritually demonized, yet still the most creative, most resilient, most magnetic people on the planet. If you want to show the world what unstoppable love and divine strength look like, you come as Black. Because Black people know God intimately, not through books alone, but through the fire, through the cotton fields, through the gospel choirs, through the hush harbors, the prison cells, the marches, the mama's prayers and the I don't know how we made it, but God did. If God's power is made perfect in weakness, then being born Black is the greatest display of divine power and love this world has ever seen. So yeah, if I'm coming down from heaven,
Just fire.
choosing a people who embody God's heart, who radiate his strength, who fight with hope and love like warriors, I'm being born Black. Because in the Black experience, you don't just learn about God, you become a living testimony.
And the brother didn't have to say a damn thing. All right, he just told you what he asked ChatGPT, and then he allowed it to talk. I'm gonna get it to you, brother.
I heard that yesterday, and like I said, when I was sitting there by myself, it brought tears to me. Man.
They said a living testimony.
A living testimony.
These words right here in the Bible, this is a living testimony.
Absolutely.
We live in Ezekiel 37 off the page right now. That's promises. Nobody of the elect is going back to sleep. This is actually happening. It's going to continue to happen as long as as long as this word gets pushed out. Get up.
No escaping
Acts
from
1 and
these
6.
devils. You know, there's no escaping.
Everybody can't talk at the same time.
Yep, you go, brother.
But there's no escaping from these devils. You know that destruction is coming, man, and they ain't gonna be able to run away from what's ever going to happen. You know, because it's already been written out that Jacob have our love, Esau have our hate. So Esau is the ignorant word, and Jacob is the beginning of their father.
The saints that niggas did the same thing with Alexa. You can make that shit say whatever, and the internet eat it up. No, but what can we say? We got the scriptures.
The scripture did say Esau's tongues are following himself.
Right.
And a lot of times we use Esau's own books against his dumb ass.
His own information.
That wisdom of Solomon too is contrary to the Lord.
Well, it told the truth.
And that is a beautiful truth to us. It's a brutal truth to Esau.
Exactly. Like I say all the time, these 17 other nations. I mean, the kingdom of heaven is a beautiful thing for the Israelites. And like I said, but the thing is, these 17 other nations are going to be in the kingdom of heaven, but they're not going to like their position.
Yeah, everybody's going to the kingdom. All nations are going to the kingdom, including the so-called white man, as Pop says. But all the nations are not going to like their position in the kingdom, and especially the so-called white man. He's gonna have the worst.
Hey, the basis of man, he gonna go back to the bottom,
right? Because even in captivity, the other nations are going to be, throwing jabs at him every chance, spitting in his water every chance that they get, because the other nations are going to be angry because they're going to feel like this is your fault. We followed you. You lied to us. You got us in. You had us do this to the Lord's people. Now we're embarrassed and ashamed of getting our backs whipped because of your red ass. So they gonna take it out on him. So every time you're not looking, he gonna be getting. He gonna be getting. Yeah, he get caught in the dark corner in the back. He back there getting the flops on him. He'll come back there. Esau back there lumped up, swollen up. Like, who the fuck beat up my slave?
like they had a Peter teacher or something, caught up in the back of the corner and shit. Beat the brakes off of him.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad for Esau, man. He think like these converts be crying about all this oppression, this anti-semantics that they miraculously or they mysteriously get, which they never really get.
Right.
All the anti-semantics that they cry about, they really gonna get it. They gonna get it because guess what? They gonna get it from other Edomites.
That's right.
Because the other Edomites gonna be angry, even angrier at them. Like shit, you did this.
Hey, Babylon, the golden cup. Everybody wanted to jump.
You were
in
the
that
first of the
shit.
nations. You were the first of the nations. You let us suffer. You let us be poor and broke and shit on us and called us goyim too, like we weren't your brothers.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't share the wealth. So the other nations they're gonna get you converts, man. You're proud in your lies, you about to get it, and you're gonna get it from your own people, man.
Yeah. I got a precept. It's Obadiah, verse.
You're gonna experience a real H event. All right.
This Obadiah, verse 9. I'm gonna start at 9. I'm going to the point. And thy mighty man, the Teman should be dismayed to the end that every one of the mountain of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame should cover thee, and thou should be cut off forever.
Damn.
You said the violence like they did. They was lynching us, killing us, doing all of this stuff to us, and nothing happened to them for it.
Right. And so the shame is first. The shame is now. That's why they try to shut down the internet. And every time you bring out their history, they call it a CRT or anti-semantics.
Right.
They created words. They create words to try and hide, to try to avoid the topics of their wickedness, to try to hide the topics of their debaucheries and their crimes against humanity. Right? You bring up their crimes against humanity, anti-semantics. Strike. CRT.
It's a theory.
Look at that.
They use that word a lot, though, lady.
Yeah, because the true history is coming out. So instead of acknowledging that it's their actual history, like I watched the one Edomite woman say that, what do you think that does to my 13-year-old? I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter.
It's all black
Get to be the rock on the ass. It doesn't matter what it does to your 13-year-old.
What you did.
Your 13-year-old needs to know the truth about his forefathers, about his wicked ass man. All right, bring it out.
This is Habakkuk 2:16. Thou art filled.
That's to my 13-year-old. Fuck your 13-year-old.
That's right. Habakkuk 2:16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered.
Yeah, because from what I just was told, not told, but I saw in the video, that Trump intends to reinstate all the Confederate generals. So wait a minute. So how are you going to say that? Because that's history, and they did these things, and they did. So wait a minute. I want these men terrorists and fought against the United States of America, but yet you want to put their statues back up.
Put it back up.
All right. It was one because wait a minute. Didn't they fight against the Constitution in the United States of America? Robert E. Lee. and all the mother federal Confederate generals.
That's right.
But then,
The true
right, the truth, right? Aren't they terrorists? Right, but you want to put them back up and be proud of their history. But then when you bring out the crimes against humanity that they did, now all of a sudden they CRT, fucking hypocrites.
Yes, sir.
Continue.
And it's going to inflame everybody that they came against. So you're really saying fuck y'all too, all right? It says, the cup of the Lord's right. I'll start again. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. So while you're trying to make America great again, it's a great stain that's coming on your glory.
Right.
All right?
Because great is when Robert E. Lee and the rest of the Confederate generals were doing great acts of cruelty against a complete race of people. When they exterminate natives and enslaving them, and then enslaving so-called Negroes.
Yeah.
All right, for free, making themselves wealthy for free labor, while their overseers raped, pillaged, and did all manner of things to slaves, men, women, and children, and were never held accountable for it.
Killing off resources. Like you said, the natives used buffalo as resources, and everything was used. Skin and hide for clothes and tent.
But Pop, wait a minute, this bitch nigga talking about he done came, everybody illegal. He done came over here and stole the whole fucking country.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who the fuck is bringing him on charge? That's why the problem's out here.
Hey,
your time is up, man.
His charges. Who's bringing you? Ask the question.
Then his own courts put him on charge.
Yeah.
The World Court has found the Israelis to be to be war criminals.
That's right.
And many Americans also to be war criminals for the things that they've done. But they don't want to acknowledge, they want to make themselves obsolete or no jurisdiction. That's meant for other people, not us. They don't have jurisdiction over us. That's what Benjamin Netanyahu, not a Jew, Milkowski is saying,
But hold on. You say they don't want to do that, but don't they have a flag of maritime law in their courts?
Yeah.
Dang.
well, they said they don't have right. Exactly. They're hypocrites. They pick and choose what foreign treaties have dominion over you. Like we always bring up. I always bring up the Title 4D.
Okay.
All right. That's a foreign treaty, which is not supposed to have any authority or jurisdiction over any America. Yet you got probably half of the men in America caught up on Title 4D.
Hey, I typed in Title 4D for the chat GPT. They said that was made to oppress a man and his family. They said that, bro.
Well, because it even says in their own bylaws, shit like that you have to screenshot and upload. But the point is, man, is that it says in their own bylaws that Title 4D child support was never intended for support of the child or the custodial parent, but it was intended, and I can show you, I can upload this information. It said that it was meant to fill up the state treasuries. So they don't give a fuck about your children. If they cared about your children, they wouldn't spray this shit over them, put all these chemicals in their food that fucks up their growth and their hormones, and they would inject all these things in them to make them fucking retards.
That's it.
You got a 3-year-old, 4-year-old fat as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Chubby as hell, and this the GMOs and all the
if
bullshit.
they cared about children, man.
Right.
They don't care about children at all. If they didn't care about children, they wouldn't traffic them and and take adrenochrome and create adrenochrome and all that shit. Esau Edom is full of shit and fucking hypocrite and liar.
And then make a commercial. Have you seen it?
Right. You got the whole
commercial.
Right, yeah. When
commercial.
Hillary Clinton and the crew drank their ass the other day.
Put them on a milk carton.
And then have you seen it?
What's the Coca-Cola truck that was full of the kids that was found? You know what I'm saying? A big ass truck, Coca-Cola truck, filled with kids. You know what I'm saying? This is what they do.
They got the grown freaks trying to teach them in classroom. The transgenders.
Well, these freaky ass motherfuckers be circumcising their kids their mouth. Where's that in the Bible?
Right, there's nowhere in the scriptures.
Right.
This is off, man.
Right, with your teeth, putting a baby's rod in your mouth.
That's right.
And then giving them
They're making the baby fruity.
And giving
He just got here.
Giving
Right?
And I already got a sin like that.
He can't even defend himself. And you're right. You putting the sin up, making him a fruit that is, and he just got here.
That's it. He's already abominable.
Damn devils.
Why that place get bombed right now?
That's it.
And that just goes to, it just circles everything, because that proves that you're not the people of the land. You're over there suffering, you're suffering missile fire, while simultaneously bombing the other side of the land. You're bombing the Lord's holy land when you claim God promised you. While getting bombed. The scripture said in the prophecy, I'll get it.
It says they will dwell in peace and safety alone.
Yeah.
And you're not, that's in Deuteronomy
And
33 and 29, I believe.
And that's why that land itself has to get smoked, because you defile the land
Not to-
with that blood.
Oh,
Not to mention that the Lord plagued them with cancer. The highest cases of skin cancer is out of Israel. But you the people of the Lord, though. And you get skin cancer.
I got that precept. This is Deuteronomy 33 and 29. Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. The fountain of Jacob shall be upon a land of corn and wine. Also, his heavens shall drop down dew. So that land is supposed to be very prosperous, very luscious. All right. What's the word I'm looking for? Where they grow a lot of vegetation. It's supposed to be plentiful, fertile. You know what I mean?
Where's King David?
Where's King David at? Where's the
Where's the house?
where's the 12 gates? Where's the streets of gold? Where's the peace and prosperity? The scriptures say they're not going to hurt nor destroy my holy mountain. That's the prophecy, man.
That's right.
The prophecy says, "But the lion shall lay with the ox."
Well, kids gonna dig in ant holes.
Yeah, kids gonna play with the ass. Isaiah the 60th chapter.
It's supposed to be streets of gold.
Yeah,
That's where the pearly gates.
Where's all these stuff?
Matter of fact, everybody's supposed to know where Yahweh Shai there. I like it. Isaiah the 2nd chapter. It says that all the nations supposed to be flowing to Israel to get the understanding, the wisdom, and all that. All nations ain't flowing now.
People are evacuating.
That's right.
Y'all are out there evacuating the land. No, the nations are supposed to be flowing to the land.
Yeah.
With their riches.
You gotta make certain terms. What's the term? Yeah, Shemitic. You gotta make a term for Shemitic. Why? Because people hate you.
Hey, what
You
they say?
put the laws against if somebody speak against you. And that's not supposed to be if you were the people.
A dog shall not move his tongue.
Yeah.
That's what the scriptures say, man. You're not supposed to be able to say shit against the children of Israel are blameless. All right, and when they're placed back in the Holy Land. This is Isaiah 2 and 2. It says, "And it shall come to pass." I'll start at 1. The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. So that's southern and northern kingdom. It says, "And it shall come to pass in the last days," future prophecy, "that the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains." That goes to the government. The leading government on the planet Earth is supposed to be of the children of Israel.
Exactly. So that's how we know that they haven't been set up yet.
Right. It
Right?
says,
Because the children of Israel, not just the sons of Israel, are not going to be bombing babies and doing all that, raping men and raping women and families and shit. All right, they're not going to be doing shit like that, man.
Hold on, let me get this in the NLT. Isaiah 2 and 2 in the NLT says, "In the last days, the mountain of Yahweh's house will be the highest of all." It says the most important place on earth. It says it will be raised above all other hills, and people from all over the world will stream there to worship. And that is not happening.
The
So,
NLT, what scripture said again?
Isaiah 2 and 2.
2 and ooh, wee.
That is not happening, man.
Right.
So you are not the people. And again, you're currently ducking and dodging bombs, all right, from a foreign nation,
And
man.
you're ducking and dodging prophecy. The rabbis love to point out the fact that Americans are Edom. That Western society is Edom. They love to point that out. All right, but they duck and dodge Ezekiel the 35th chapter.
I gotta get that. Yeah, I gotta keep reading. Wow,
That's one of my favorite chapters, man.
This is verse 3. I'll continue in Isaiah 2
because just recently there was some bombings going on.
What you mean? Today it's going on
That's
now?
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's wars and rumors of wars and wars about to be started and all that. Read that.
This is Isaiah 2 and 3 in the NLT. It says, "People from many nations will come and say, 'Come, let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of Jacob's God. There he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For Yahweh's teaching will go out from Zion." It says his word will go out from Jerusalem. So the law of the land is supposed to go out from the children of Israel out of Jerusalem. That's like the world court. That's going to be the new World Supreme Court,
Right.
all right, in Jerusalem. And what just got canceled due to y'all ducking bombs? Your Pride Parade, your bagel chasers. Y'all can't frolic up and down the streets of Jerusalem no more with that Mo shit, with that rainbow shit, smoking cigarettes.
And
there's some my money.
Yeah.
My money.
Money.
Right. It's like, shut up.
Right. Hey.
They're a bunch of chain smoking, wicked ass people, man.
Right.
Modes.
Hey, and it's gonna be the same laws in every geographical location on the earth.
Everywhere.
Hey,
enforced by 12,000 men.
That's it.
Consistency.
All right.
Consistency through and through.
That's it.
Enforced by 12,000 men from the 12 tribes of Israel.
Let's look at the smoke.
Blank, period. That is your government right there.
That's it. Where the law said you can't sleep with a man, okay, no, you can't fucking period. You get put to death.
Yeah, in that second address, it says, "Good deeds shall be of force." You know what I'm saying? And then it's just like the elder was saying, that the house of David, all right, is going to be the enforcers. Those the elect governing body of the nation of Israel. Hold on, I can still get some more.
This is Isaiah chapter 2, verse 4, NLT. It says, Yahweh will mediate between nations and will settle international disputes. It says, and how? Through the law, through the children of Israel. All right? These are the judges of the earth.
That's it.
All right? It says,
and guess what? Yahweh set up Yahweh Shai. He said, I'm going to set one shepherd over them. It's going to be King David. Because Yahweh Shai going to sit upon the throne of who? King David.
Go ahead.
It says they will hammer their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will no longer fight against nation.
Damn!
It says nor train for war anymore. And what is good? So this is complete contradiction to the scriptures.
Those people that's over there.
To those people that's over there.
Hey,
so how are they the people?
So if nations have standing armies, the nation of Israel is not the true people of the nation of Israel. The Yasharallah is not ruling on earth.
That's right. So the real question is, like the scripture saying, when it comes to us, is this the children that they call beautiful? Or are those the people?
Are these the people?
No. Hell no.
Can't be, because like you said, swords in the plowshares and this, that, and the other. No war.
Right.
Why? Because the warriors are going to be at 144,000. Because when they smoke, whatever comes up is fucked up.
That's it. That's it. So, and even because the scripture says when the righteous are in authority, well, I wouldn't talk about that one, but yeah, when the righteous in authority, the people rejoice. But it talks about in that Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, how in the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world and the upholding of the people. So no nation is going to need to have any army. Because we're going to be the welfare of the world. We're going to be the one that's maintaining.
Yeah. Then how they going to have an army when all their weapons been burned up?
Exactly.
And then what kind of army is going to defend from just two of the elect?
One of the elect.
Right? So what
secretly.
Right. You know, and the funny thing, if you look at the Jerusalem Post today, this is the article today. It says Trump vetoed Israeli plan to kill Iranian supreme leader, U.S. official state. Meanwhile, Trump wrote on social media that Israel and Iran should and will make a deal soon and call it to make the Middle East great again.
Oh, yeah. Everybody want to be great again.
I got you, brother. But the whole point is, this land back in the
if you want to make Western Asia great again, you got to get your pale ass out of there.
Exactly. But I thought you all was the people, though. Why you got to go sneak and try to go kill somebody to go get them great again? The Lord is, y'all, you do not match the prophecies in the scriptures in the way that you all are claiming to be us.
But this a precept back of everything y'all saying. This is Zechariah 9:6. And a bastard should dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. They dwelling over there right now.
And that's why it's getting bombed right now.
That's why it's all this wickedness in the earth. Because it said wickedness shall exceedingly pollute the whole earth. And it's been polluted ever since y'all went into that land.
That's why
y'all don't belong there.
That's why
we belong there. That's our shit, man. Y'all gonna hey, we gonna take our shit back. Like I said, the son should take it and present it forever and ever. Forever.
Hey, you know what's deep? Nigga polluted it when he lied to Eve, and they accepted that shit. Say, hey,
all the way to the
Satan. Listen, not the spiritual demon Satan, but his counterpart, starting with that serpent. That old, like I said, that old serpent.
The old serpent.
All right? Cain, Esau, all the same motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
He's been causing disruption through the earth forever. Now he's reached his end. Clearly, he's reached his end. The earth is mourning.
Mm-hmm.
The Israelites are not in rulership. The brothers just brought up all the scriptures and different versions of how they're not the people.
And
right?
And the real truth now, the one that was going to end it all, is being pushed to the floor.
And Esau panicking now. Because
That's
he
it.
said wickedness by its nature is timorous. All right? It's timid. It's a fucking bitch ass made spirit.
Saul.
And he knows, like what scriptures, the devils believe in what? Trembling. So now he sees, he has his scopes out pointed to outer space. He sees the chariots of the Lord. He sees them in the infrared spectrum and these other spectrums. He's seen the big fathership of the Lord. He's seen these things. So that's why the Lord he's speeding up his plan. The Lord has got him his understanding and teaming. No, it's gone.
I got Isaiah 26:10. It said, "Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness.
Can't do
it. And the land of righteousness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord." So here it is. He over in the holy land. Here it is. He got Culture Kid, the biggest alternative lifestyle parade in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And they get a nerve to call it Jubilee.
Yeah.
JEW. It's called JEW-Beliefs.
These motherfuckers are so prideful. I've done a couple of catering events for culture. That's what they call it. The culture.
That's the word, culture.
I don't even know why they do it because
they come and wrap the tables and do all this shit. Make sure you got gloves because you're a heathen, so you can't be touching them.
Yeah.
You know how much fucking pork we done had shit on this table, you dumbass.
Well, not only that, they eat pork on a regular basis.
Right.
I was just last Sunday. That's why I was out. I had work. I was out there in Highland Park with a bunch of them, and all they were feeding and eating all the pork to their children.
Right. Shrimp, lobster, all that.
So they eat all that shit, man. They don't follow the law.
I seen them all.
And then was one, and I heard one of them say how anti-Semitic is just on the rise right now. It's really sad all over the world. And I was like, I had to bite my tongue, man.
When I was doing security,
right? I was like, I'm just here to make my money. And
so I'm not fine. I was doing security and gave you here. I seen the Udish come. They going to bubblegum shrimp.
Yeah, and I'm sure they weren't going there for no steak either.
No.
Right, what they eat, what they like, frog.
They prayed over making kosher.
That's a
They
delicacy.
prayed over making kosher.
Oh yeah, well they do have what they call kosher pig now.
I know.
Out there, so it's because if they you know how it is if you cut the pork in a certain way.
Right. You cut it in a certain way, you pray over it. It's now clean. Kosher.
If you hold the tongue a certain way.
Right, there you go.
Can you grab that Wisdom of Solomon?
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2.
I want somebody.
Wisdom of Solomon.
Yeah, they live in
chapter
that.
2 and 12. This is Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 12. Therefore,
Is offending on the law. Oh yeah, go on.
Matter of fact, go back to let our strength. We gonna wrap on that.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 11. It says, matter of fact, let me hit 2, then jump to 11. Because this is the ungodly reasoning. This is Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. So this is how the ungodly think. It says, our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither is there any man have known to return from the grave. So they lack faith. It says, verse 11, let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be of nothing worth.
Right. So our missiles and our Iron Dome, right? Our Israeli Galils, all right, that we shoot, that we use against women and children and not terrorists. Read.
Verse 12, therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doing. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objective to our infamy, the transgressions of our education.
So they know they're teaching madness.
Yeah, and they know that we know they're the counterfeits, and we call them that.
Right. Pop your ass off.
Right.
He thought he was always gonna be sweet.
Right. So
It said clean contrary. We different.
Right. And we always upbraided him for his offending of the law.
Right.
So it shows you who the true judges are. The true judges are going to be rebuking the wicked out the Holy Scriptures.
That's right.
That's why within that letter that Haman the Agagite sent to the 127 provinces, he said that there's a certain malicious people. You know, so we
Snake.
yeah.
He's telling the truth. He's malicious.
Right. Okay.
Coming around here with all that truth and shit.
Malicious.
Man, we need to kill them niggas.
I mean, shit. If I was them, I would say the same shit.
I mean, because the wicked is the wicked.
Well, I said every week that when your entire existence is based upon lies and fraud, the truth is your worst enemy. The truth is like a match in a house of paper. The last thing you need is somebody lighting a candle if your house is made out of paper.
I got it. Can I end that over here? This is Wisdom of Solomon 2:16. All right, it says, "We are esteemed of him as counterfeits." So that's how the men of the Lord look at you, man. You're a fake. You're a fraud. You're a phony.
And guess what? The rest of the world is looking at you the same way. Other Edomites are calling you. These Christians that you keep pointing out as being Esau, Asaph. All right, you got Edomites that are calling you out for being a fraud.
It says, "He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness. He pronounceth the end of the just to be blessed, and maketh his boast that God is his Father."
Yeah, and
they hate us, man.
They hate us because God is our Father.
That's right.
And we boast in it. All right. And you try to deny that of it and try to stand in our place, and then you don't even acknowledge the Father. That's why He's going to destroy you. Bring out what you got, Pops. We're gonna wrap it.
Okay, this is Job 14:4. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean?
Okay.
Not one.
Yeah, so you can't do it, man. All right, and I'm gonna add in that too for you Jakes out there, off subject but on subject. Somebody needs to hear. Spirit told me to say it. He said, "Who can bring an unclean thing to being clean? No one, man. Stop trying to get back with these women who slept around on you. All right, these women who allow other men to put their seed in them. They defiled. All right, they defiled. Don't be soft. All right, so with that, we're gonna give all praises, all honor and glory unto
Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem,
Wam Yasharala,
Abba Ball.
Hey, turn these machines off. God damn it, we ready to go. God damn it.
But I love it though.